following the usapan training at iba pa, you know that we started the year with yung overview ng ADI, and then we moved to training needs analysis or learning needs analysis, and then training design. So ngayon, itong month April, we put the spotlight on learning facilitation, training implementation. And the topic that we have tonight is using action reflection learning for better learner engagement. Yan, exciting yan. And wala nang i-exciting pa doon sa ating host for tonight. Somebody who has been practicing action reflection learning for a long time. Also a past president of the International Coaching Federation in the Philippines, no? ICF Philippines, at currently principal partner of Leadership in Motion. And most importantly, ang ating committee chair na talaga namang nagbibigay ng magandang giya sa ating mentoring program. Ayan. At yan po ay walang iba kung hindi si Miss Ruby Palma. Magandang gabi, Ruby. Welcome to Usapan Training.
Hello! Naririnig niyo ako?
Dinig
Loud
po,
and clear.
Ayun. Kasi naririnig ko kayo, na-excite na ako sa simula pa lang ng ating programa. I'm so excited because, and I'm honored to be in the midst of dynamic presidents in the room. Hindi ba? Kasi kaya mga experts din dito ang ano sabi nila doon, ang tutay dila natin ngayong gabi.
Kaututan nila.
Kaututan dila natin ngayong gabi. So, yes, thank you, June, for the invitation. Thank you, President Ed, for being here. This is my first time also to meet Luis. I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you, Ruby. And siguro, let's get the ball rolling. Siyempre, ang unang-unang tanong na nasa isip ng lahat ay ano ba itong action reflection learning, and how is this different from traditional training methodologies? I understand that you prepared the presentation for us. So
Yes, I did.
Take the
did.
floor, Ruby. Yeah.
Kasi excited ako about this. This has been my passion. Once in my life, I worked as a regional learning and development of a company, of a global company. I was also part of a global learning and development network. So it was during that time really that I truly appreciated what makes learning happen and last. Hindi ba? So that's the main topic of today, because it's so interesting. Let me share with you first a story of why I was so attracted to this. Sabi nila, in the 1970s, there was a revolution. And that revolution emanated from talagang sa Europe naman lagi, in the Middle East, mga ganon, sa Scandinavia. No? But it was a revolution of consultants. They were thinking about there must be something different in the way executive development and education can be delivered. And kasi executive education parang teacher and ano lang, di ba? And student. Ganun ang delivery ng kahit hanggang ngayon. You know, when you listen to professors, faculty members of schools, parang ganun pa rin generally. And so they said, what can be different? And action learning was born because they realized that they had to link it with the real life situations of learners. And there was therefore a shift from the focus to subject matter expert to the learner. Parang meron siyang siso, no? And so what my company did, which was at that time based in Florida, nagpartner sila with the Mill Institute. And the Mill Institute was in Sweden. And then the LIM organization made a research about what makes learning happen and last. And so that's what I'm going to share with you very quickly, and then tell you a little bit more about, so how do we now bring this to life? Diba, in our respective learning interventions when we deal with prepare certain designs for our programs. So let me share with you. Welcome to Action Reflection Learning. And this is the book that captures the study by Isabel Rimanowski and Boris and Paul Roberts. So what is it all about? I'm using the format which talks about what, why, how, and the so what questions, which are important questions for the learning preference of everybody in the room. What is this all about? These are 10 action reflection learning principles that bring leadership programs, team coaching, and learning to life. Why is this important? It provides a strong scientific principle and validation behind the tools, and makes us confident that our tools, as we design it, integrate it into our designs, will work for any country, culture, or any audience. And how are we going to do this? I'm going to show you what these 10 principles are all about, and let's find out how they can be applied. So these are the 10 principles. And before I show you this, I'd like to ask you to just pause and reflect on, for a minute, a significant learning experience that you've had in your life. So think of, I'm sure something will come up, and just think about why was it significant. And I'd like for you to use a chat, so that we can have a look at and see how we can engage everybody. Think of a learning experience that was truly significant, and then why was it significant? Write it on chat. Okay. So let's click, and let's just spend another minute to take a look at, the learning experiences that you've had. So Toastmasters really appreciated the chance to practice, reflect on the feedback I got from servers. Education, okay? I was mentored in my case. I was mentored by the first woman HR manager of the year in PMAP. Subjects interconnected, okay? And in some of the audiences I've had, some people would tell me when I was subject to a painful experience, it was very significant learning. When my glass ceiling was shattered because of an experience I was thrown into, when I learned more about myself. Okay, so these are just a few of the learning experiences we can probably reflect on, happening to each one of us, I'm sure. But let me share with you where it all falls. It probably will fall in one of these principles. Okay, let me tell you about this one by one. So the first one is really about reflection. Tama ba? I can't see. Okay, later. Reflection. So what I'm showing you are slides that tell us not only the definition, but the people before us who tell us, uy, this is a learning principle. We do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. Sabi ni John Dewey. Okay? And reflection is just about the ability to thoughtfully reflect on the experience, which is an essential part of the learning process and enabling greater learning and learning to be derived from a given situation. But how many of us reflect, right? How many of us bring into the learning intervention some moments of reflection? Okay. Next is tacit knowledge. What is tacit knowledge all about? Tacit knowledge says that there is knowledge residing within each one of us in unseen forms. It is frequently underutilized but can be accessed through guided introspection. In fact, si Michael Polanyi, the British scientist, would agree with us. Sabi niya, we can know more than we can tell. Yeah. Yan. Tapos si Socrates din, no? So as far as Socrates, he said, a teacher is like a midwife. They bring out the wisdom that is hidden within. To draw out, sabi naman ng education, to draw out, sabi sa Latin. The third one is relevance. What does relevance mean? Kasi sabi ni Malcolm Knowles, no, ito yung mga sinasabi nating adult learning principles. He was the one who suggested the 4 learning principles or adult learning principles that says adults need to be involved. Experience includes mistakes. Adults are most interested in subjects that have immediate relevance to their job or personal life. And adults' learning is problem-centered rather than content-oriented. So what does relevance really mean? That learning is optimized when the focus of the learning is owned by, relevant to, importantly, and timely for the individual or the team. So yan ang definition ng relevance. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Marami pang mga philosophers who said relevance is a learning principle because it makes learning happen and last. Self-awareness, di ba? Sabi natin kanina, some people learn by understanding the relationship between what they feel and think and how they impact on others because it is a crucial step to greater personal and professional competence. Sabi din ito ni John Locke, no? The way to expand ourselves and how we relate to others, the mind is a blank state developed from our experiences. And marami silang sinasabi, no? And in fact, si Daniel Goleman, sabi nila, emotional intelligence is really about understanding oneself, first of all. Ayan. So self-awareness. How often do we, for instance, ask people, so what are you learning? Diba? In every experience that we have, we go from one experience to the other without pausing to ask them, what are you learning from this experience? Next is integral. What does integral mean? It means that are we considering the head, the heart, the hand in everything that we do when we talk about learning interventions? It's really a focus on the human being. That's why humanistic psychology was brought about as a result of this, because lahat nito sila, si Carl Rogers, si Charlotte Buller, said that we need to really engage people's head, heart, and hands in a learning intervention to make it significant and meaningful for people. Next is systems thinking. What does systems thinking mean? It means that are we aware of the context by which our learners are involved in? Because it says that there is a link between one context to the other so that it makes a total and big picture. All the elements of any living system, according to Ludwig von Bertalanffy, now are connected, created webs of relationships. So if you're just looking at one aspect, kulang yan. When we design, example, team building sessions, how are we looking at it from the business perspective? It's not just about games, dances, and all that, but it's also about looking at some long-term, impact of these learning interventions, that because we all invest in this, diba? Kasi we want to make it into systems thinking as an intervention. We want to bring that to life. Next is social learning. So this is one aspect of what we do every day. Diba? We not only learn from ourselves, but from other people because they build on our mental constructs. We can learn by observing others, sabi ni Albert Bandura. And many others, I'm sure. Okay, I think this one I like, no? I like very much everything else, but this one is very powerful, paradigm shifts. When we build into new mental models, when we have aha moments, when people say, oh my God, that's something new I'm learning today. And it's totally changed my mindset because meron tayong mga constructs dito, no? But when we hear people talk, when we discover something within ourselves, ang mental constructs natin move and it shifts. That's why we bring about, it brings about new learning. Our brain is a small scale models to anticipate events. Sabi ni Philip John Lard, of language and reasoning. Okay. And yeah, kanina Edwin, sabi mo repetition reinforcement, you repeat, diba? So that
Yeah.
made the learning significant because repetition and reinforcement is a learning principle. Sabi nila Edward Thorlike, kapangalan mo pa. Sabi niya, when there is a positive consequence of an action, we tend to repeat that action, di ba? Para maulit muli yung positive experience. And on the flip side, when there's a negative consequence, we don't want to do it anymore, di ba? Kasi we learn from it. So repetition, reinforcement, how often do we use this when we design learning interventions? And finally, or second to the last, may trabaho tayo. Lahat ng teachers, mentors, coaches, because learning is facilitated. We learn from people who help us process the learning. And there goes. So here we go. These are the 10 learning principles that are fully supported by the work of people before us, philosophers, that bring about learning that lasts.
Ayun. Thank you, Ruby. Wow, there's a lot to unpack. Marami tayong pag-uusapan doon sa
Oo,
presentation
marami
na 'yon.
tayong pag-uusapan.
Siguro the biggest question in people's mind and also in my mind is that how do we bring this to the ground?
Okay.
Yung ano ba ang if I am going to look for organizations or models that thoroughly practice ARL, where
Mm-mm.
should I look?
Well, one, these are sets of principles, right? That guide us, helping professions,
Mm,
trainers, OD practitioners. And this is really what also helped me at that time. I was up to now as a coach. And I evaluate myself, I ask myself, how am I bringing to life the principles that bring about learning in my next design of a program, for instance? Diba? How am I using reflection, tacit knowledge? Am I drawing out the tacit knowledge of a person? Am I asking or am I just telling? Kaya we use a lot of this sa coaching programs namin, no? So these
mm.
principles, we put it to life because these are just concepts. We bring it to life by using tools and processes. So each one, for instance, a process or a tool that we use is to stop, reflect, write, report, SRWR. That's one
Mm.
tool. When we analyzed SRWR, it practically ticks all of the learning principles.
Okay, for everyone's benefit, Ruby, what is SRWR?
Stop, reflect,
Mhm.
write, report. So it's an acronym we use to just invite people, okay, when you have a shared experience, for instance, or ito ngayon, no? If you pause, then reflect on a question, you write, and then before you share or you report, it makes the learning happen for everybody. It collects data and wisdom in the room because many leaders or trainers or facilitators today, when they ask a question, who do you think answers first?
After 5 seconds.
After 5 seconds, di ba usually yung mga extroverts, sila
Oo.
yung unang sumasagot, no? And tsaka mga while the others are just quietly processing
Yeah.
it because nandun pa sila. So if we just use a tool, a simple tool called Stop Reflect, you move the otherwise a 15-minute conversation to
Right.
3 minutes and you enrich the learning kasi you capture everybody's learning by pausing for even just 1 minute.
Oo, oo.
Yeah, kanina, kunyari, we paused for a minute, di ba? And then we clicked. And then we took a look at what was written here for another minute. So otherwise, if I were just asking you, so what do you think are some of the learning experiences? And
Oo.
both of you would answer, yung ibang quiet, hindi na nabibigyan ng equal playing field to speak up. So
That's right.
it gives everybody the voice. Diba? That's just one simple
Oo.
tool.
I'm trying to I'm trying to imagine how that looks like. Like if karamihan kasi ng mga trainers natin, mga subject matter experts.
Oo.
And yung actually yung after 5 seconds na sinasabi ko, sometimes yung mga trainers, pag walang sumagot
Sila na yung
after 5
sumasagot.
seconds, sila na rin, yun nga sinasabi ko, wait, no? And sometimes pagka komplikado yung tanong mo, the wait should be longer. Kasi mahirap yun, mahirap yung tanong requires a lot of thinking. So, what's your suggestion? Halimbawa, you're in the classroom, you just presented an idea, concept, or maybe a process. How does this, this method,
PRL.
how do you practice this in the classroom?
So there are several tools. Before we hold a session, for instance, I would probably use format as another. Okay, what is format? It is a way of understanding the preferred learning styles of people in the room. So I'd probably want to understand, sino kayang audience ko? What are their preferred learning styles? Are they what learners, why learners, how learners, or like me, I'm a so what learner immediately in my mind when I
Kolb
get
ito no? Kolb's model.
or Cobb's model. So that's one tool that as facilitators and as faculty or trainers, talent developers can use to understand the audience. So one way I use it is I ask, so what are your questions at the very beginning? And then I put it in that quadrant, lalagay ko yung mga questions nila, lalagay ko yung what, why, how, kung sino man yun. And then I see immediately, itong audience na ito, mga how learners pala ito. So, in my session, I would want to be able to answer the how questions most of the time. Diba? Kasi yun ang mga questions that will make learning relevant to the audience in general. But of course, because I know that to complete the learning process, we also need to answer all the other questions. Parang cycle siya. They just begin
Right.
with how, but they also want to know, how do I apply it back at work? Or what is it all about and why are we doing this? So we use all of those 4 questions to present, to complete the learning process or the experience or the learning intervention itself para ma-address mo lahat to make learning satisfying for the audience. That's another tool.
I can see how important that this is integrated in the design of the training, no?
Yeah.
Para hindi mo makalimutan yung magtanong. Ako, when I facilitate learning, especially pagka alam kong medyo complex yung question, I ask participants to either body up or form a small group to reflect on the question rather than immediately ask for volunteers. Di
Tama.
ba?
So the buddying up, you're utilizing relevance, di ba? Well, what principles are you really utilizing? Social learning, di ba? You want them to exchange the learning. What else? You want them to pause and just reflect on with the intimate group of people, di ba? You want them to exchange so that they build on each other's learning. Anong principle yon? Maybe depende sa question mo, it can be very relevant to many people. You want them to share their own experience. So you're also bringing to life the tacit knowledge, di ba, with their principle. What else? What else does the pairing up? We call it the learning partner.
Learning partners, yes.
When you have a learning partner or accountability partner, there are a number of principles that you're actually bringing to life. That's why it's powerful.
Yes, I can see that. By the
Yeah.
way, si Louie has been closely looking at the chats. Meron ba tayong tanong, Louie?
Meron tayong isang tanong dito, no? Sabi niya, it also begs the question kasi ang reflective learning should not only be sa trainers pero pati sa trainee din. Can you
Hmm.
give a case study where, or an example where a training and development professional encourage reflective learning sa trainees? Partly nasasagot naman natin kanina sa mga tips, but if you have anything else to add.
Oo.
Yeah, so you can integrate it in your leadership development programs, diba?
Mhm.
When we hold leadership development programs, we have a curriculum, but you can post a pre-work of questions, use the learning partners, use the stop reflect in the course of your delivery of the program, use small groups to just talk to each other, social learning, use integral learning. So how do I bring integral systemic principles into the design? I ask them, okay, bring a real life situation. That's why when we have leadership development programs, the way we deliver the leadership development programs, we integrate projects, strategic
Mhm.
projects, that the teams can work on to achieve the fish, but at the same time, they also learn how to fish and learn from the experience of working with the teams in their projects. But at the same time, make it a systemic as well as integral learning process, because it integrates the mind, body, and the spirit of the person. That's why dancing, the icebreakers are also important during the sessions, because what is it? You now make the move, diba? But dancing alone does not make the program meaningful, hindi ba? It makes it fun, which is important, pero what we do is we have another tool. We have a tool called accidental insights. We use that after a break, because we
Accidental
realize,
insights.
during the break, that authentic conversations happen. No? Kunyari may tinuro ka, tapos nag-break sila. And then, syempre nag-break sila 15 minutes, dun sila nag-uusap, no? And then pagbalik nila, balik ka na naman. Kung tuloy-tuloy mo lang yun, mamimiss mo yung accidental insights that happen during the breaks. So that's one way also of bringing to life, ano na naman, tacit wisdom, reflection, real-time learning. So very gentle, simple tools that you can integrate into the learning process. Ang question dito is, si June kasi sabi niya, maybe we can design a measurement evaluation tool around the ARL principles, no? When we design programs. At meron akong isa-suggest sa inyo, no? For you to remember. Tacit knowledge, kunyari. No, I use metaphors.
Mm.
If learning were a treasure hunt, diba? How does this intervention guide participants to uncover hidden gems of knowledge lurking within themselves? So the metaphor is treasure hunt. Diba? Pagdating sa tacit knowledge. Pagdating sa relevance, ang metaphor na ginagamit ko is parang music genre. How does the learning intervention tune into each participant's groove? Diba? Making the content feel like it's their favorite hit song. Diba? Parang yun yung measurement mo of relevance. Ang reflection naman is picture a cozy campfire chat after a day of adventure. Diba? How does the intervention encourage participants to share stories, roast marshmallows, and reflect on the day's journey? Diba? So it's great to be able to creatively bring to life the principles that will make a learning intervention truly lasting. Ang importante lang naman sa atin dito, how can it happen and last? Hindi ba? So these are a few examples. I have all of the examples here for all of the principles, and I'd gladly share it with you, no? Para mataan natin mga metaphors. Example, integral, for instance, or hindi, ano na lang, social learning. Picture a bustling marketplace filled with lively conversations and exchanges. How does this intervention turn learning into a bustling bazaar that participants trade insights, wisdom, and laughter. 'Di ba? Napakaganda, no? Na,
Yeah.
and it bring it to life, social learning. Kaya yung when you say, President Ed, na networking is one of the outcomes we want to achieve in the
Sa
in
Tipanan.
Tipanan, it's
Yeah,
bringing to life social learning.
that's right. I agree.
But if we are intentional about it, we can probably make it a little bit more, di ba,
Structured.
structured in a way na
Ah,
gusto natin to ma-achieve, di ba?
that's
Oo.
right. Mukhang
Yeah.
may tanong si Jun. Jun, nakataas yung kamay mo.
O nga, no? Na-validate ko lang, Ruby. So ang ARL, and this is also somehow related doon sa question ni Menchu, ano? Tama ba
Oo.
yung pagkakaintindi ko na ang ARL is really principles-based? Wala siyang step 1, step 2 na sinusundan. It's really when you design the training, you make it sure that all the applicable principles, kung lahat niyan applicable, depending on the length, as much as possible, i-maximize mo yung application niyan, no? And one example of that, the way I understood, it's like yung reflection, magbigay ka naman ng reflection point
Ah,
bago tumawid sa ibang topic, especially kung online learning yan, di ba? Pwede kang mag 1 minute, 1 minute reflection time, stop, pause muna tayo, what did you learn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kaya
and
Ah.
then kapag shinare nila yan, kapag nag break out ka, okay, let's break out into triads or dyads, then hindi lang reflection, na
social learning.
nagamit mo yung social learning. So tama ba? It's principle based more than a process based.
ah,
It's principles that you can turn into a process, di ba? You can think of processes that you can apply it to, and tools.
so you
Okay.
can
All
apply
right.
it in
All right.
various facilitation methods.
Yes, all
I
whether
see. I
5
see.
minutes
Uh,
or it's in it's 1 month, sabi ko kanina, di ba? Whether it's a
Mm,
5 minute in conversation or a 1 month
Right.
intervention. Kaya dito pumapasok yung 70-20-10. That's
Yeah.
why they
mm,
look at the 70%. Ito yung nakikita kong what will make the 70% really concrete,
right.
di ba? Kasi we know it to be a concept or an aspiration, but how do you bring the
Mhm.
70% into your learning intervention? You can
I
ask
see. I
yourself.
see.
Ah. At ano
So,
sa akin nakikita ko
Yeah.
yung ano no, yung application ng ARL in the 70-20-10, especially if you do follow through. Alam mo, nag-classroom training ka, in-apply nila, and then you do a follow through where the participants or the learners reflect on their application of the learning. It
Yeah.
makes the learning continuous, ano?
So ang follow through is a clear application of what principle?
Mm.
The
Ayun,
reinforce.
may quiz tayo. Oh, yung
Reinforcement.
reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Tama.
Reinforcement.
Na-apply ni Ruby yung reflection sa atin, no?
Yeah, yung, di ba kaya
Nagulat ako sa biglang quiz.
Oo. Pinag-post tayo kagad doon. Nagamit
napaisip ako
agad.
doon.
Oo.
so it may not be all of the principles, but you may pick up, and then ask yourself, what is a principle that I'm not utilizing? Kaya boring itong learning intervention na ito, or it's not as effective as it could be. Maybe you're missing
Jerry,
out.
may tanong, ha?
Ano yung tanong?
Ayan si Jerry.
Naka-raise hand si Jerry.
Simpleng tanong lang, Jerry, ah.
Please unmute, Jerry.
Hi
Tara.
everyone. Good evening. Hi Ruby.
Hello.
Oh, I can't help it but I wanted to just jump into this discussion kasi very critical to application ng ARL principles into training, no? Sa akin, if you try to take a look at the 10, most of it really has a lot of impact on the facilitation skills of the trainer.
Mhm.
The quality of
Yes.
facilitation skills. If you take a look, yung sinabi ni Ruby na 10th principle, yung facilitated learning, pag pinagsama-sama mo yan sa ibang ARL principles like integral, paradigm shift, systems thinking, tacit knowledge and self-awareness, doon papasok yung what should a facilitator really do?
Yes.
Able to bring these principles to life. Kasi iba-iba na iba-iba mga objectives na itong principles na. The paradigm shift is the aha moment of learning eh. So as a trainer, when I'm facilitating a discussion, am I sensitive to these aha moments within the group?
That's true.
Do I recognize that? Do I capture that? Do I make use of that so that I can make it integral so that they can be translated to the head, heart, and hands? And things like that. So the quality of questions will also vary if you want to apply these principles. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na concept sa learning, yung ongoing check-in, di ba? Sabi natin, we just don't see the evaluation at the end of the training program,
Right.
but during, di ba? Meron tayong during. Dito papasok yan. Is learning really happening as I facilitate? Kasi
Yeah.
nakikita ko what I see in my radar, there is more emphasis now in facilitation rather than the presentation. As a matter of fact, I'm having training sessions na ang content presentation 10-minute lang, but the 50 minutes is facilitation. This is where you process everything and make sure it is applied after that learning session.
Yeah.
So the emphasis is kasi yung lecture natin information lang yun eh. Pero yung facilitation, that's where the discovery happens, and that is more sustainable as a learning principle. Anyway, I just wanted to
Yeah.
jump
Thank
in
you,
and-
Jerry. Gusto ko sakyan nyo, Ruby, dahil may tanong ako para sa iyo tungkol dyan. I was thinking about it. Maganda na elaborate ni Jerry yung yung importance ng facilitation skills over presentation skills in training. A lot of the trainers, I think if we play percentages, by estimate, I can imagine that a lot of the trainers in companies are subject matter experts. Not so they lean very hard on their technical expertise, yung kanilang subject matter expertise. So the chosen mode is often delivery of presentations rather than facilitation. Which brings me to this question. Kung ako ay subject matter expert who will dabble into facilitation of learning, what will be the challenges that I will experience, and what kind of skills should I develop if I am to become an effective ARL facilitator?
If you are a subject matter expert, you probably bring with you your identity as such, di ba? Because you've honed yourself, you've harnessed all of these knowledge, experience hanggang ngayon, di ba? And it has worked for you all this time. So you can continue to be a subject matter expert when the need calls for it. But if you take a look at the learners today, pwede naman nilang basahin yun sa Google ngayon kung ano man yung ibang mga tinuturo mo, di ba? Pwede naman na it's about really appreciating that the learner is a fully competent, resourceful, and whole individual. He has the expertise of his situation. So that's one shift. I think that SMEs can have as they move into facilitation or even coaching. So it's more the directive way and learning the less directive or the least directive way of delivering learning. So ang facilitation that Jerry was talking about can lead to the least directive way, which is coaching. And the skills that you may probably need to learn more would be asking versus telling. Diba? Kasi ang SME, telling yan because, okay, I have the expertise, this is my knowledge, and you have to learn this. Diba? Ito yung 1, 2, 3. Ganyan. So napapaos. Napapaos ka kasi ikaw lang lahat ang nagsasalita all the time. Pero pag least directive yon, you ask the question and then you listen to the answers of the people in the room, and they'll probably be learning more than listening to just one expert in the room.
I
Because
agree.
people, collective wisdom is there, diba? So that applies to you could apply that, no? Hindi naman natin sinasabi wala nang SMEs. But what I'm saying is that the SME can now embrace a new
Oo.
identity in addition to their identity as SMEs. They can now become more facilitative. They can now become more coach-like in their approach.
Oo.
Asking questions would be a new skill. Listening would be another skill. Diba? Kasi syempre, pag SME ka, tingnan mo yung how much airtime you're taking. Ibig sabihin sila lang magle-listen sa'yo. So if
Oo
you're
nga.
a coach or a facilitator, you now listen more. Maybe move from, say, 30-70 to now 50-50 or yung ganon. Depende sa ano nyo, sa intervention nyo. So coaching, for me, is the least directive or
Right.
non-directive approach.
Actually, yes. The participants go to your training for your subject matter expertise, but that doesn't stop you from choosing methods that allow for sense making, di ba? So
Yeah.
I think one of the important things na gawin ng facilitator, dapat ang tanong hindi lang yung malinaw, any question. You should be able to ask some sense making questions, di ba? Na will
Yes.
allow the participants to think about how do I contextualize this? How do I apply these lessons back in the workplace?
So yes, reflective questions. Kaya nga, di ba,
Reflective questions, yes.
powerful yung mga reflective questions sa simbahan because it facilitates the audience to reflect.
Reflective questions, Ruby and Ed and Louis, beyond the typical scripted, how did you feel? And
Oo.
what did you learn from this? But like one question, i-float ko lang, Ruby, but let me know if this is an example of ARL. So let's assume na mayroon na sila mga sharing or may nag-share. And then if I ask, for example, so what does that tell you about yourself? Or ang variant noon, what did you discover about yourself as you share that experience? So something like that.
Yeah.
Pasok ba yun sa ARL?
Oo. So these are open-ended questions. Diba? What are you learning about yourself? What are you learning about the situation as a result of these inputs now? Diba? As a result of this experience, the shared experience, what is this telling you about yourself? Diba? What is this telling you? So what new solutions come to mind? So hindi kailangan laging magaling sa'yo as the subject matter
Right.
because you'll be surprised. You'll hear more creative out of the box solutions from people out of their own tacit knowledge, diba, and experience. You will also learn from them a lot.
And may
Thank you.
question si Zekaya.
Yeah, Louis.
Kasi tama-tama, sabi natin ask, don't tell, listen. How do you do that now with the introvert learners?
Introvert, okay. Kanina I shared you a tool called Stop Reflect, right? Kasi si introvert, ang first default niya for processing is to reflect. To tap
Reflect, yeah.
into his inner wisdom, as opposed to an extrovert, which is to be active and express. No, kailangan he can or she can help herself. That's the energy. They're energized by that. So a leader or a facilitator can say, okay, I'll invite you to just pause for a minute, diba? And then answer this question. So that pause is not idle. Kunyari, kanina, President Ed, sinabi mo, when you ask a question, tapos may silence. Diba? Parang uncomfortable yung ibang tao dun sa silence, diba?
Right.
What is really happening? Is silence idle? Hindi yun idle.
Hindi, oo.
Tingin lang yun, nag-iisip pa sila. Hindi ba? So as a facilitator, you have to also be comfortable with silence. So that's a mindset that you also have to take, no? Don't answer it yourself just because no one is answering. But if you want to be deliberate about it, we can integrate the pause before.
Mm.
Okay, so you've paused and maybe invite them also to write in their journals. Mas maganda yon. Kasi pag nakasulat na sila, alam mo lahat sila may sagot.
At tsaka ano yung tingin ko for the introverts, nilagay ko nga dun sa ating chat na we have to differentiate the introvert from the shy. Some people are not exactly just introverted, they're shy. May mga extroverted people na shy, you know. So I think yung dyads, triads, group reflection provides space for the introverts and the shy to share their insights. Siyempre, yung medyo malakas ang loob dun sa grupo, siya yung spokesperson. Pero nagkaroon na ng conversation, nagkaroon na ng processing ng experience between the two of them or between the
Yes.
three of them.
Okay.
So the shy person may not be the spokesperson but already inputted into the group answer when
Correct.
you ask questions to the group, di ba?
Kasi what it does to the extrovert, that pause also makes him refine his otherwise
Mhm.
sasabihin na niya while thinking, di ba? Kasi the extrovert speaks as he thinks. Sometimes dun siya habang nagsasalita. I know that because I'm an extrovert. Habang nagsasalita siya, doon siya nagfa-finalize ng draft. Nagsasabi.
Oo.
Pero if you pause and invite the extrovert to pause, nire-refine din niya ang sasabihin niya. So what you get after that 1 minute pause is really very rich insights from
Oh,
both.
and if it's a conversation between the extrovert and the introvert, processed na yung may
Process na
may
siya.
may time to fine tune, di ba?
Tsaka more importantly, you give everybody the voice. You give
Yes.
everybody the voice. May example ako. May isang leader na gusto na niya talagang i-fire yung isa niyang tauhan kasi parang laging tahimik na parang wala naman siyang nakukuhang inputs. And then they went through a leadership development. And as facilitators, we asked him, okay, can you fire him after the leadership development program? And then when he was observing the leadership program, we were just asking them to pause, reflect, and then answer. And he was listening to the insights that that person was sharing. That was very, 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 ibig sabihin, very insightful, very, very rich, no?
Profound.
So during the break or after the break, pumasok siya. Sabi niya, you know what? I have a confession to make. Before this session, I wanted to fire a few of you. Ang ganon. But while I was listening, I should be the one to be fired. So nag-confess siya na because what I heard from you is a totally different, I saw a totally different and I was missing it out. Yung ganon. So that's what a simple tool of bringing reflection into the interventions can do, no, to equalize the playing field between introverts and extroverts, to give them the voice.
Right. Very well said, Ruby. Ayan, medyo kinakapos na naman tayo ng oras. May tanong si Kevin. Are there additional resources we can explore to integrate ARL?
Sure. There's a book. It's called Action Reflection Learning. There's another book at meron yata akong here. Okay. And I'm not sure if you can see this.
We can see it.
You can? Oo. So action reflection learning, I think in Amazon, you can look for it. Gentle interventions for team coaching. If you want to develop coach-like approaches to your interventions, and shared leadership for leadership development. So these are some resources that you can go to if you want to bring, because all of these interventions, when we develop it can be used for designing and leadership development as well as coaching. All of these underpinned by action reflection learning principles.
Ruby,
Wow.
quick question lang, just to validate the assumption. Kasi parang nagkaroon din ako ng reflection sa ngayon. I'm a practitioner of action learning group. So initially I thought na yung ARL it's like magkaiba. Pero ang naging kung ko ngayon, naging reflection is pwede mo palang i-integrate yung 10 ARL principles when you apply yung action learning group. Kasi yung action learning group normally happens outside of the training na outside of the classroom eh, di ba? This is when you give them break them out into groups, they will do certain workplace or business related issues and then ipipresent nila yan, magiging capstone project nila, di ba? So tama ba yung assumption ko na pwede siyang i-embed? In fact, hindi pwede. Dapat pala ini-embed yung ARL sa
Dapat
action
embed. Oo.
learning group. Oo.
Kasi
Tama ba?
from what I know of action learning, it's really about bringing real life
Yes.
situations into the workplace. Di ba? We did
Correct.
that before in our leadership development.
Yeah.
But the ARL principles are the ones that will make learning happen. So you ask yourself questions.
Yung processing of experience, no?
Oo, kasi
Yeah.
these are reflective processes and
Mm.
practices. That's why the reflection between action and learning is important.
Thank you, thank you. That's
Okay.
my biggest takeaway today.
Thank you, Jun. Okay. Ano na, we're about to wrap up. Some important tips, Ruby, for those who are moving from yung ano no, from telling, yung mga subject matter experts natin and trainers who focus on telling, and moving to integrating ARL principles in their training. What are your key tips?
Okay. Telling what to do, subject matter experts, leading through expertise, and using the traditional model of leadership where knowledge, expertise, solutions rely on the top leader, the faculty, or the trainer is challenged because of changes all over
Mm.
the world. So that paradigm is now being challenged because of the changes. Consider sharing the leadership using action, reflection, learning principles so that you can make the learning happen and last for individuals and teams and make it more effective. Co-creation of solutions.
Wow, thank you, Ruby, for that tip. And Louis, key takeaway mo, sir, sa ating session tonight.
Our last episode kasi was about methods, di ba? Learning methods, no? And we also gave tips on how to choose the learning method. Ang ganda nung session today, nauna yung methods di ba? Ngayon yung principles, 10 principles, no? So what you need to do, L&D professionals, the trainers out there, look at the 10 principles of ARL as additional guidance in choosing the right combination of learning methods.
Nabubuo natin yung journey ng mga
Yeah.
L&D practitioners through our usapang training, ano? June, key takeaways
Yeah.
from tonight?
So my 10-minute hindi na joke lang. So for me what happened tonight it's the power of pause and reflection happened to me now kasi as I said I have been using action learning groups for quite some time. Hindi ko tinitignan hindi ko pa masyadong na-integrate yung ARL at ang initial impression ko is parang magkahiwalay, but because I was able to reflect, nakita ko pala na pwede siyang complementary.
Hindi lang
And when I
pwede,
do,
kailangan.
dapat, kailangan. And when I do yung action learning groups ngayon, I cannot anymore do that without actually integrating ARL. And this kind of insight is nagawa noong ARL itself, no? Especially yung reflection. So it works. Kasi napatunayan ko ngayon mismo.
Ako naman, ang aking
Thank you.
key takeaway ay magyayabang ako. Ipagyayabang ko po yung mga certification programs ng PSTD dahil the way they are designed, the way they are facilitated, utilizes a lot of action learning and ARL. Kasi para ka ma-certify, kailangan mo magpakita ng proof na ginagamit mo yung skill. And the facilitators, our trainers who facilitate our certification courses use a lot of ARL conversations to deepen the understanding of the participants. Kung ikaw ay trainer at kung gusto mong mag-deep dive into this facilitation methods, yung pinag-usapan natin last week, Louie, at saka magamit yung mga principles that Ruby shared with us, isang certification course po, yung Certified Facilitator course ay yung technique at saka yung processing tactics that you can use to allow the learners to to reflect on their experience and share some insights. Matututunan niyo po 'yan sa ating mga certification courses. So enroll na po sa mga certification programs ng PSTD. So thank you so much, Miss Ruby Palma, for the insightful night that we have, no? And ang dami nating nakuhang magagandang tips that can really help us in our own journey as a talent development practitioner. So maraming salamat din po sa ating mga katropa